It's been well over 2 months since Ruca finally became the NXT Women's North American Champion. We saw just a couple weeks ago at Battleground, Ruca had her very first ever successful title defense against Kalani Jordan in an instant classic. Now, as we move closer and closer to the Great American Bash and also Worlds Collide this coming Saturday, Ruca needs a new challenger for the NXT Women's North American title, which is exactly what we're going to be talking about in this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. Is who will be the next to step up to Ruca and the Women's North American title. At this point, you've got a plethora of incredible talent. You've got women like Adriana Rizzo, Ariana Grace, Brindley Reese, part of WWE Evolve. Carly Bright, again, also part of WWE Evolve. Fallon Henley, Izzy Dame, JC Jane, the new NXT Women's Champion, which congrats to her. By the way, huge shocker that she was able to pull it off. Jada Parker, Jasmine Nix, Carmen Petrovich, Kalani Jordan, of course. Kendall Gray, also part of WWE Evolve. Lash Legend, Lola Vice, Nikita Lyons, who we've seen on Evolve a few times in the past, in the last couple months. Tatum Paxley, Thea Hale, Wendy Chu, also part of WWE Evolve. Ren Sinclair, and of course, Soul's very own tag team partner and her bestie, if you will, Zarya. We even also have as well talent from TNA, but unfortunately, for some reason, TNA's website isn't loading, because apparently my iPhone here says this connection is not private, meaning that supposedly there's someone else. Oh, here we go. Finally. I was gonna say someone was trying to mock TNA wrestling, I guess. But yeah. So yeah. Anyway, moving on. So as far as TNA's women's division, you've got Masha Slamovich, the current Knockouts champion. You've got the Knockouts tag team champions, Ash and Heather by Elegance, Alicia Edwards, Danny Luna, excuse me, Harley Hudson, Indy Hartwell, Jody Threat, Killer Kelly, Killing King, I believe is her name, Lei Ying Lee, or Xia Li, if you guys remember her, M by Elegance. That's literally her name, M by Elegance. I don't fucking know. Who else is there? Myla Grace, who was actually part of NXT UK at one point in her career, so that's pretty cool. Rosemary, Steph DeLander, or Persia Parada, if you guys remember that name from NXT. Tessa Blanchard, Tasha Steelz, and Victoria Crawford. You guys are probably curious of her, who she is. Maybe this might help. Maybe her photo might help out. Yeah, you guys might remember her as Alicia Fox. Yeah, she is now a part of TNA. And then also Xia Brookside, she's been turning a lot of heads in TNA. So there's a lot of talent across both promotions that we could potentially see. There's even also a large plethora of talent in the promotion known as AAA, which is a lucha libre promotion, and their talent and the amount of talent that they have is just absolutely incredible. Their talent is the amount of talent that they have is excuse me, is amazing. I mean there's Dr. Wagner Jr. There's a couple, but I think there's only 2 women on the roster. I don't know. I'm gonna have to. Let's see. Women's roster 2025. So I believe I don't think I could find them. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to, unfortunately. But as far as as far as the women's North American title goes, Sol Ruca needs a new challenger for her title ever since retaining the title against Kalani Jordan at Battleground. As we draw closer and closer to the Great American Bash, obviously she will be in need of a new challenger for said title. But there's a lot of talent again, there's a lot of talent from not just from NXT, but from TNA, and even also from AAA that we could see as well. Obviously, with Worlds Collide taking place this Saturday, I have no doubt in my mind that AAA is going to be thriving like it's never thrived before. Which, huge congrats to Vikingo on becoming the new AAA Mega Champion, which I believe is their like world championship. I think it is. Huge congrats to Vikingo on being the new AAA champion. Can't wait for his title defense against Chad Gable. That's gonna be a crazy one, you guys. That is gonna be crazy. I'm still deciding if I should do the results of both Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank separately, or just do it in one whole video. I think I might just have to do it in one whole video, just because of the fact that it's going to be, just because of the fact that Money in the Bank will probably just be like it'll probably be like maybe a couple minutes after Worlds Collide, so I might do the results in the same video, but the prediction videos will remain the same. Worlds Collide will probably be tomorrow, and then Wednesday will be Money in the Bank. So get ready for those videos. But if I had to pick 4 from NXT. If I were to pick 4 from NXT, I would have to say Fallon Henley, Izzy Dame, Jada Parker, and Lash Legend. Lash Legend, obviously she has a lot to prove. She's at a point now where she literally lost half of the faction known as Metaphor, which feature her, Jakara Jackson, Oral Mensa, and of course Noam Dar, who obviously we hadn't seen much of him since the split of Metaphor, but she has all the talent in the world, and with her going back at it on her own again, she has a lot to prove. She can definitely prove herself worthy of being a champion by competing for the women's North American title. So I could totally see her challenging for it. Plus Plus, she's long overdue for at least one championship run in NXT before potentially getting called up to the main roster, which it's possible, but we'll have to wait and see. Jada Parker is, again, same boat, the exact same boat. She is long overdue a singles title run, and now that her boys OTM, Bronco Nima and Lucian Price are now back in NXT after suffering an injury like 8 or 9 months ago, I have no doubt in my mind that Jada Parker is definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with in 2025, and I've got no doubt Jada Parker is definitely going to be a champion before this year comes to a close. Same thing with Izzy Dame. Izzy Dame has been a part of the faction known as the Culling for a few months, literally for a few months now, and has already proven herself a very valuable asset to the group. And I think now is the time for her to step up and challenge for said women's North American title. And then of course you got Fallon Henley. Obviously, yes, there has been a lot of tension and a lot of like arguing between her and JC Jane over the fact that neither one of them could defeat Stephanie Vaquer not only for the women's North American title but also the NXT women's title as well. And I truly feel like with JC Jane now as the NXT women's champion, maybe now is the perfect time for Fallon Henley to regain the women's North American title. And who knows? Maybe this is a sign that Fatal Influence is going to be going their separate ways. In which case, Fallon Henley might just end up being the woman to turn babyface and stab both JC Jane and Jasmine Nex in the back, which is very possible. But if I had to eliminate two from this group, I would have to say Izzy Dame and Lash Legend. I feel like with Lash, she has the gift, she's got the skills, she's got the athleticism, she has it all. But because that we had not seen Lash Legend in a hot minute now, there's really no telling when we'll see her back on TV at all. There's really no telling. So it's hard to say, but I feel like if Lash Legend does show up back to TV, who knows? Maybe a possible heel turn. Who knows? And then of course Izzy Dame. Obviously she's been too focused on helping Nico Vance and Brooks Jensen go after the NXT tag team titles. It's way at this point now. It's way too soon. So between Jada Parker and Fallon Henley, I think it has to be Fallon Henley. I think just because of the fact that Jada Parker is more focused on the NXT women's title rather than the women's North American title, and the only championship that Fallon Henley wants is that North American title. So I would have to say Fallon Henley. Now as far as the TNA side of things, I mean, there's two that I would love to see challenge for that title. It would probably have to be Indy Hartwell and I would probably have to say Xia Brookside. And the reason why I mentioned Xia Brookside is because she was a part of WWE for several years, dating back to the Mae Young Classic. I believe the first ever Mae Young Classic, if my memory serves right. Being the youngest to compete in WWE at the age of I think like what 17 or 18 or something like that. And yeah, she did have a couple opportunities at the NXT Women's title, and yeah, she did have a few opportunities at the NXT UK Women's title, but never was able to become champion. And I feel like now is the perfect time for her to truly shine in not just representing TNA, but literally representing TNA on NXT and shine and become NXT Women's North American Champion. Because imagine this, right? Trick Williams became the first NXT superstar on the active roster to become TNA World Champion. So imagine what would happen if Xia Brookside were to return the favor and bring the Women's North American title over to TNA. That would be one hell of a history-making moment. Now, as far as Indy Hartwell goes, she's already a former NXT Women's Champion. Why not go after the Women's North American title? But between the two, I would have to say Indy Hartwell, only because I feel like getting signed with TNA was a perfect way for Indy Hartwell was a perfect way for Indy Hartwell to go back to NXT and finish what she started. And I see no better way than for her to go after the Women's North American title. So between Fallon Henley and Indy Hartwell, it's a tough call. It's a tough call because both are former NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. They've both have had a lot of success on NXT. If it came down to it, I would have to say Fallon Henley, and the only reason is because she is due for a rematch for that Women's North American title. Obviously, yes, she is pissed off that JC Jane was the one that became NXT Women's Champion, but I feel like the only way that Fatal Influence would be complete is if Fallon Henley became Women's North American Champion by defeating Sol Ruca. Obviously, yes, Sol does have Zarya, and I know that Zarya's had been eyeing up the Women's North American title, but even she knows that her. But I think her friendship with Sol Ruca has gotten to the point now where if Sol Ruca loses the title, Zarya could step up, take the title, and the title would go back to the team name of Zaruka, which honestly would be pretty cool. So if I had to pick, I would have to say Fallon Henley. So on that note, that will do it for this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. And if you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below. Excuse me. As will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.